Welcome to the special budget public hearing. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 5:15 p.m. Roll call, please.
Bradford, Hicks.
Here.
Janeski, Lynn.
Here.
Ludwig. Here. Plattner, Smith.
Here. Please stand and join in saying the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda item 2, recommend budget public hearing. Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Matt, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. So I'm excited about the opportunity to present our FY23 budget that I'm proposing to the board for an action item. And tonight, basically, I'll run through the summary of this. This has been on display since July. Been a few adjustments here in August just because we got our final numbers from the State Board of Ed on evidence-based funding and a few other grant things. So we have a balanced budget here tonight that I'll present to you, and then I'll be glad to try to answer any questions that our school board may have or anyone here in terms of public comment tonight. So again, thank you for the opportunity. As you know, we have to go through the process of approving the budget and submitting that by September 30th of each year. Okay. And then in doing so, technically you're already into your budget, your working budget for 3 months. So it's kind of an interesting situation with the state board, how you're proposing approval of a budget that you're really already working on along the line here. So this is based off of the information that we have available to us right now. So you take all the information that you can get available in terms of revenues and expenditures, you look at trends, and then you try to give the best projections you can with the information that you have. And in the event that things don't go as planned, you can always make adjustments and amend your budget down the road. So that's what's nice about it. But we've got to get something out there started formally that's approved and sent to the State Board of Education. So I like to put the timeline up. It just kind of is a reminder to our board members and how we have to do things and filing with the county clerk and so forth by September 30th. And then this obviously ties into the tax levy timeline and what we'll be doing in October, November, and December. And I'll talk more about that in future meetings. But all of this is connected because it's the way in which we finance and fund our schools and provide education to our students. The narrative for tonight, just a few highlights I wanted to mention, is that this is the best estimate based on the most current information available. Public view has been available since July here at the not only at the office for paper form, but also online. And I put that in the tabs for our website. Our district has continued to show an increase in the operating fund balances or reserves with a proposed balanced budget tonight. So I think that's exciting news that our fund balances have been increasing over time. And I look at historically going back to 2015, 2016, and that type of thing. And we have really done a nice job and thankfully have put ourselves in a position where our reserves are in a better place in all of our funds moving forward. So I think we want to continue to monitor that though, because it's not like you have a lot of excess within your school budgets. So you still have to monitor things closely. Things come up, facilities, maintenance, what have you. When we look at this, if we see anything throughout the year that needs to be amended in some way, I'll come back to you and we'll go through this process again sometime in the spring. I usually like to do that in March, so that way it's taken care of by June. Okay. If there's no need to amend it, things are flowing well, then you're in a good place still. The Ed Fund beginning balance has an increase, as I mentioned, and these are our main operating funds, your Ed Fund, your O&M Fund, your Transportation Fund, and really like your IMRF Fund, because that falls into retirement for your employees. One of the things that I've placed in here with our O&M Fund, even though we've seen an increase there, we've got to keep a close watch on our O&M Fund. We've done a lot out of that fund here in the last few months. And so moving forward this year, we've got to be prepared to take some Ed Fund money, do a resolution, and maybe transfer some over to our O&M Fund to help facilitate some of the things that we need to do there. Okay. We already place in our O&M Fund out of our evidence-based funding money that we get from the state. We automatically have a deposit that goes in each month to keep that flowing. And that's a good way to do that, because then if otherwise you're relying solely on your property tax, your local monies. And to do that, you're going to run pretty tight. And so we submit, basically we have a deposit that goes in out of our ed fund throughout the year. It's balanced out over 11 months. It's about $270,000 of evidence-based funding money that we place in that O&M account. Okay. But I just kind of want to share that with you, just my thinking as we roll into this fiscal year after 3 months. I also have $100,000 of contingency. That can be used for anything, but in my mind, I place that there for a situation you might have with a special ed student, other governmental units. Maybe you have a student that moves in out of state that needs special services and you can't provide those here, and they may need a residency situation. And that meets their needs educationally. And if that happens, then obviously you better have some type of contingency built in for that. So I've got that built into the budget that you have before you as well. Again, O&M fund, we've had a balance increase, but we've taken those working cash funds that we moved over to last year to our O&M fund, and now have moved into capital to pay off the junior high building there. So we'll be taking care of that here in the next few months. Transportation fund, again, a beginning balance increase. It's unusual to get all of your payments. It's prorated at about 80% for your transportation fund that you get back from the state of Illinois. It's unusual to always get your payments as you're supposed to. And that has been happening more regularly. So we watch that pretty closely through the cash flow sheet that I provide to you, which you'll start getting next month, because I'm wanted to wait till I got through the first quarter, see where things are at, and have more accurate information for you. So when we get to the cash flow sheet that you'll see monthly, that's going to have your July, August, and September numbers in there. So you can see how that compares to the budget. So that's a little bit about your main operating funds. Your other funds are more restricted. Your tort fund is used basically for your tort and liability and health, life, safety. You can't spend that money without approval from the State Board of Ed. And so one of the things that we'll be looking at over the course of this next year prior to the summer is anything left in terms of our 10-year health, life, safety plan that we need to do to upgrade anything with our facilities. So I've spent some time last week. I drove to Champaign to meet with our architect that we have who did the survey in 2016, and to try to make a connection there, because I want to know exactly where we're at, and moving forward, build that relationship with them as they help us with health, life, safety work. Our evidence-based funding money, we had an increase this year of Tier 1 as a Tier 1 district of approximately $168,000. That will put us at what's called 71% of student adequacy of our state funding. So all that is tied into the evidence-based funding formula that basically says they are in a process of slowly moving funds toward the districts to help raise us over time to what's considered adequacy of funding education for our students. Okay, so being at 71%, it's good, and that's improving. And we just want to keep moving the needle forward on that so we can do more and more. The good news for us is that that's the state marker, but because of all the things that we do with our grants, and as Michelle monitors those, a lot of those for us, especially through title, that allows us to actually be more adequate for our students and their needs. So we utilize a lot of other sources other than just the state. The bond market, it's not the best time to borrow. I think everyone probably knows that. When you look at the consumer price index being right around 7% right now, and usually for the last 15 years it's been running like 2 something. That's pretty dramatic. So it's not a good time to be borrowing with interest rates and the consumer price index. The good news is, if you'll remember, and just to commend the school board on this, we did a refunding or restructuring back a year ago, and that saved us a lot of money over time, down the road with the interest rates, because we got that at 2.3% when we did that. So we were fortunate with that. So just kind of continuing on with the narrative, looking at revenues, our local payments, we did receive one in July, a little over $3 million. We received another one today at 1.6. When I add that all up, we're at 4.688, 469. So we're still lacking about $226,000. We should get another payment within the next month or so. Just kind of watch that, see when that flows out. But that's pretty good to have that money starting the year, because the start of the year is usually pretty expensive for us, for schools. Again, there's a note there about what we're receiving in terms of, you've got your local monies, you've got your state, and then we've got our grants. And I'll talk more about those, our federal title grants, as well as our federal ESSER money that we receive. Expenditures, what we're looking at in this budget as a narrative is that we'll be placing approximately $270,000 or EBF dollars in there, which I mentioned earlier. A lot of that is because we've got inflation costs right now running 7 to 9% on gas, electric, and supplies. So that's been a little tougher on us. You're getting roughly the same amount of income, but we experience the same thing as personal property owners and families. So it's been a little bit tougher on us, but that'll help us and provides for our contingency allowance for the junior high and extra things that we did with the Longstreth bus road and the parking lot by the junior high and those types of things. We're able to meet our needs in terms of collective bargaining agreements, salary and wage increases. Those are all met with the budget. Facility improvements we're looking at in the future for the high school, as well as extracurricular. They're increasing our O&M and health life safety fund balances over time. So that's what kind of our focus is here, is just really looking at our facilities. These are our beginning fund balances starting into this year. So I have to wait until after the auditor comes through and does his final assessment for us so that we can see what adjustments need to be made with our bookkeeping here, because I want to make sure that I am spot on with the auditor in terms of our starting fund balances. Okay. So again, just thankful, really good news. Our education fund beginning balances is $4.8 million coming in. And those of you that have been on the board for a while can remember a time when that was a little bit over $1. It was a tough time for sure. So, and that's the way this works. I mean, it's a slow trend. You don't want to have big jumps. You want slow trends upward in the things that you're doing. Operation and maintenance. Now that included the working cash fund bonds, which we just transferred out, but that was considered the beginning fund balance. Bonded interest, $150,000, transportation, $415 beginning fund balance, and then IMRF $522. You basically got to make sure that you are levying and budgeting for the amounts that you're going to need to cover your expenses, of course. Capital projects, it says 0, but that 2.9 up there, a lot of that money, some of that has already been spent of the $3 million, and then there's more of that money that's moving over to capital projects. The auditors do not consider capital projects to be revenue or expense. It's just simply money that is used primarily for things of facility upgrades. An example of capital projects that is important is that we have campaigned pretty hard recently for the 1% sales tax, the facility sales tax in Vermilion County. School districts that have a facility sales tax, like Champaign County, that's where their funds go. It goes into capital. And that's what's nice about that, is you've got a built-in system that feeds into your budget of revenues annually that allows you to do some things that are done in other communities in the, for example, in Champaign County. And when we go to Champaign for dinner or movie or shopping or whatever, there's a portion of that money that you're paying on that sales tax that's going right back to your school districts for their facilities over there. So it's just a unique situation. And I know, I've talked to the superintendents this past week, and I think there's a lot of interest in bringing it up again. And I think we just got to keep bringing it forward to the public and let them decide. And hopefully for us, the Oakwood community, it would be something that they would see as a benefit, for us, especially when you see some of the things that are happening in other counties. But anyway, just a little note about capital projects and how that falls in. Working cash, you always want to be anywhere from 6 to 9 months for the goal of being healthy. And I know Mr. Lee, when he comes, he'll talk more about that. Toward immunity, where we're at, fund balance, and then health, life, safety, fund balance there as well. So all that to say is that in terms of revenues and expenditures, again, we're in a good place right now starting the school year. Hopefully no unforeseen surprises. So then I take basically that, I put all that basically into one sheet here, just as a comparison of revenues versus expenditures and what the difference is at the end of the year. So this really, in general, is basically a one-slide summary of the budget, okay? And just letting you know that with tort immunity, projecting about a $4,000 loss there, okay? You don't want to have a surplus in tort immunity because that's a fund that basically, because of the nature of that fund, what you ask for, you're going to get, okay? So you want to make sure that you're being fully transparent and responsible with your community and your taxpayers, that you're only levying for what you need, okay? And when you're doing that, if you see a sense, like you might remember a couple years ago, I levied a lot less, okay, in tort because I noticed that that was getting up above 200,000. And working with our auditor, Russ Lee, when that gets above 200,000, then you want to reduce what your levy is going to be. Okay, so that's not in any way a problem for us. Obviously, we've got reserves there. We're in a good place as well. But I did want to put that up there just so that you know. So it looks pretty tight, but basically we're trying to maximize our dollars for our kids, and at the same time keep moving things forward. And you saw the projections. I projected the inflations and things, and hopefully I've done a good job with that. And that's why we'll monitor that and see how close we are. We've been successful the last 3 years, so we want to keep the same plan. This gives you a little information as far as federal grant revenues with our ed fund, and those change. Sometimes we end up later getting more money down the road, but that's kind of in general where we're starting at with titles 1, 2, and 4, and ESSER 2 and 3. And I just want to commend Michelle, because while I'm focusing on all these ed funds and everything else, she's watching very closely and monitors an excellent job with these title grants. And so then we do a lot of communicating, and she does a lot of communicating with our bookkeeper, Shannon Wallace. So this is a breakdown here that I wanted you to be aware of, just some of our state and local grants that we also get. So you've got your locals, you've got your federal, and you've got your state monies, but these are, we had the Arconic Foundation grant that was given to us recently. We're working with the regional office on a social emotional learning grant that we received, which we had a professional development today with Ondine Green from there with our staff about SEL, which is a part of the process of fulfilling the requirements and responsibilities for that grant. State School Maintenance Project grant, you already know that we've got one out there already from a prior year that we're working on the Star Gym at the grade school that's going to get done over the summer. But just to kind of tap in, I'm filling out another application. The school maintenance grant just came through again for FY23, because you've heard me talk about the issues with our high school gym floor, the cupping and the buckling, and how that is getting worse. And we've got to get a plan together. And thankfully, that just got released for FY23. So that would be, I'm filling out the grant on behalf of our high school gym floor. So that way we would have to match that whatever it costs. And our most recent estimate was that it would be around $100,000 to $125,000 to fix that. So that's what I'm basically pointing that money to. If we find out something different along the way, hey, if we ask for it and we get it and you end up not using it, then you just send it back. There's no harm done. But you can't get it if you don't ask for it. So I'll be submitting a skill maintenance grant for that, as I see that as a top priority for us right now. Preschool for All grant, that's how much money we have there. And below that are some bullet points about what that's used for. And I did want to mention, just a reminder, the PTO had given us an additional $32,000 that we're putting forth with our courtyard playground. It's taken us a while to get that. We've got equipment we ordered a year ago, literally in September, and now they're saying January. So we'll just keep pushing forward with that. And they'll be doing some work out there again on October the 7th through the 10th. In terms of that's a long weekend, and they're going to get out there and put some new mulch down and that type of thing for us. Excuse me. So this is just a just a little graph, little picture about total revenues and expenditures. Gives you an idea of the funds. Obviously your ed fund that's your main fund. I mean, that's the one that you're working with, and then your O&M. Those are two big ones, and then transportation, IMRF. Those are what's called your operational funds. I like this graph because it gives just a quick breakdown of what's it look like for a school district. What's it look like for Oakwood right now going into FY23 in terms of where your funding comes from in revenues, local, state, federal, and the total amounts that we have at this point with the information. So you can see that your state is about half, and you can see about 35% there for local. That's your taxes, and then about 14% for federal. So it's just a interesting breakdown when you take those numbers and throw it into a graph to get a picture about what it looks like. Now I will share this PowerPoint with you all too, by the way, just so you have it as a document. I had to wait till today to get the final text distribution today. So how are we spending our money at Oakwood School District for our students? So instruction-wise, we're looking at just 5.6, and then you've got support services at 1.9 million, other governmental units at 1.2 million. So what's that? That's going to be things. Good examples would be anything we do in terms of vocational education through Gamble Area Community College. So the money we pay there, the money we pay to them for middle college students who are at risk of not getting their diplomas. We're trying to provide them support to get their GEDs. It's going to be anything special education related through our base co-op. Okay, so as you can see, there's a lot of money spent there for those supporting other governmental units, and then I mentioned about contingency a little bit earlier. So this is budgeting forecast. This goes beyond this year, but I just thought it'd be good. I like the trend line here, what we've been budgeting and forecasting going through. I don't have enough information now to update, but this is basically the projection that we've been on. And you can see the steady climb on the trend line there, and that's a good thing. You can see that our expenditures, obviously are not exceeding our revenues as we move along. We're staying pretty close there with our twin bars there. So that's what we're seeing right now, and that's the projection that we're on, and that's the direction that we want to continue to head where we've been these last 3 years. And I just thought it'd be good to put that before you there as far as a forecasting summary. This is enrollment trend, so this is not really the good news. There's a lot of enrollment trends that are of concern right now. We heard today that there's 300,000 teachers across the United States that are no longer in education. That's not a good trend. We don't like that trend. But this is our local trend as far as enrollment trends. And you can see that, obviously this is a state of Illinois issue. This is a Vermilion County concern as well. And you can see it's impacting us. So, but we need to know what the data says. And that's where we're at right now in terms of current 6-day enrollment is at 859. Okay. And you should have had a 6-day enrollment form in your packet that kind of broke it down by the grades. So you can kind of see what we're seeing there. Well, that's an important factor when you're looking at your budgeting, how much you're spending for kids and so forth. And it's a factor that the state looks at too in terms of enrollment trends. (2020, 21, and 22). We've been at recognition status as a school district. So obviously we don't want to be on the left side of that meter. And we're in a really good, healthy place. We'll wait to hear from Mr. Lee when he comes to present, probably October would be my guess, and share with us exactly where we're at. But that's an important thing because that recognition ranking comes from the State Board of Education based on how you're managing your finances. So that really kind of concludes my overview of the hearing. I just wanted to see if the board had any questions that I could be happy to try to entertain, and then the public as well. So Mr. Smith, that's all I have as a presentation at this point.
Any comments from the board? Any questions? Anybody?
Looks good.
Thank you.
You mentioned, I think your budget projection is conservative, based on the 7%. That's good. Have we seen any decrease in, for lack of a better term, lack of increase? Are we seeing our expenditures taper off, utilities, water?
We haven't got far enough into it this year to really
Okay.
see anything. It's been an interesting situation. We have had probably 3 or 4 major vendors this year that have sent us letters asking for money from 2020 and 21 because they have had turnovers within their internal offices and they have had bookkeeping issues, and they're saying, you know, we didn't send you a bill that we should have, and so on and so forth. So before we get into that, you know, I explained to them that, listen, you're talking to me about a budget 2 years ago. I'm on a whole different budget now. So this is not easily taken care of. So I'm seeing, those are some of the frustrating things we're seeing in terms of expenses that you're not being able to project. Everything that we're seeing in terms of, you know, your electricity and so on and so forth is just coming through in a way that it's looking about an average of around 7%. Now the good news is that I think we're going to find that through our new junior high wing, you know, that is so new that I'm going to be interested to see how that plays out compared to what we were experiencing. Because kind of tying into that, and I apologize if I'm rambling, but I got looking into our health, life, safety this past week when I went to meet with the architect to see what's that looking like. And, you know, we have approximately $48,000 worth of work that we need to do over the next 2 to 3 years. That's not very much. But when I looked into that health, life, safety report, there was over $700,000 that was needed at the Newtown facility. And I think we all know that was primarily related to, you know, the boiler and that kind of thing and the warnings that they were giving us. So I have just kind of been leaning into health, life, safety a lot the past couple of weeks to see what that's looking like. So I don't have a lot of specific information for you, but if there's anything at all that you or the board would like more detailed information on, let me know. I'll be happy to research that for you.
Any public participation? Okay.
So, Mr. Smith, before we go any further, I do have a statement that I probably should share with the board so that they know if that's okay.
Okay.
So, the procedures for these types of meetings is that you have your board public hearing, and then following your board public hearing in your regular meeting, you have an action item that approves the budget. Okay. And so I need to let you know that I neglected to put that on the agenda for our regular meeting. So it is probably the most embarrassing mistake that I've ever made as a superintendent. And I did that tonight, and I just want to confess that to you and give you my sincere apologies. So technically, we won't be able to approve it tonight because it has to be on the agenda 48 hours in advance. But I would feel a lot better if we did things the right way, and that Larry just admits his mistake to his board and to the public. And that what I will do is I've never made that mistake before. So I don't know. I'm not going to be happy with myself on the drive home tonight. But anyway, we would have to schedule a special board meeting that would just take a few minutes, hopefully next week, if that works out for you. And I apologize for the inconvenience, and I apologize to all of you for my error in not having that on our agenda tonight at our regular meeting. So thank you, Mr. Smith.
Seeing no public participation or comment, do I have a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Ludwig to adjourn at 5:44 p.m. Bradford? Yes. Hicks? Yes. Lynn?
Yes.
Ludwig? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 1.
We'll go ahead and call our regular meeting to order at 5:45 p.m. Roll call, please.
Bradford.
Here? Yes. Which one were we doing?
Hicks.
Here.
Janeski. Lynn. Ludwig. Here. Plattner. Smith.
Agenda item number 2, public participation, the recognition of guests.
Aware of any? Thought we might have one with the other page. That's our night.
Agenda item number 3, consent agenda. Did anybody have a chance to review the consent agenda that was presented? Okay. A motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Bradford, seconded by Lynn to approve the consent agenda items as submitted. Bradford.
yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Lynn.
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Plattner. Or Smith, excuse me.
Yeah.
Motion carried by roll call vote 1.
Agenda item 4, FOIA request. Mr. Mayor, looks like we did have one.
Yes, sir. We had one from Smart Procure. They just asked for some purchase order listing of details, and that was executed and taken care of.
Agenda item 5, OEA. Mr. Johnson.
Well, we are, I'd say, back in it. Usually the beginning of the year brings up a couple of different things, from changes and so forth from last year to this year. We had quite a few with the new building. I think most of what was directed my way were just, I say, little concerns about just how the dismissal started off. I know we manipulated that over time, and I think it's gotten better with all the buildings. I know one issue that it sounds like is probably not going to go away for a while is going to be the availability of subs for those of us that are needing to miss, and then, the internals, and, that's a problem all the way across the state. So Mr. Maynard and I have been talking, and we're going to take a couple of weeks here and see if we can't think about some things that to help alleviate some of those solutions. And then I think the only other thing I've been made aware of was some of our athletic coaches just having maybe a little bit of a concern about the bus times when they were getting 2 practices, when they were getting 2 games. I know that there was a unfortunate situation where it led to a team being dropped off unsupervised for a while at an away game. So I hope and I think that those are aware enough to where come springtime. Usually I think the sports that have the hardest time with that are the ones that take place immediately after school. I don't see this being an issue throughout the winter. And then just hopefully that kind of makes itself fixable. So other than that, it's kind of just the beginning of the year, and I think as everybody gets into it, we're ready to go. So that's all I've got.
Mr. Johnson. Agenda item 6, board committee reports. We had no committee meetings this month. Agenda item 7, administrative reports. Curriculum, Ms. Kimbrough.
As Larry said, we had an SEL presentation today on being came in with kind of an agenda, because she met with our social workers to find out what our needs were. She also did a survey, and with that, we had one presentation. Some of our money went towards the lounges, just to have teachers come back into something a little bit different, a little bit better. We've had a rough couple of years, and that was the one thing that we could control that no other money would cover. So it was a nice surprise for everybody, and I thought that has gone well. Hope to finish the junior high one this weekend or this week. So everything came in, the rest came in today, so we're good to go. The only other thing with the SEL for the ROE is a book study, which is optional. And so I have to call a gentleman tomorrow, and he's going to kind of lead it. And then after that, it is for social emotional with teachers, and it's optional again. But anybody wishing to do that, I would give professional development hours for, the stipend for, and then once that is finished, we've met the terms of the SEL grant. As far as the other grants, it's just basically getting the junior high ready. So, ESSER 2 is taking care of all the furnishings, the boards and things like that. We had several come in damaged, so we're waiting on round 2 to come in. The science cabinets are in the hallway, so they'll get in the classrooms. Again, the lounge, and then the office, we're working on the counter. So when you come in, we'll have the counter. The other furniture pieces have already come in, and so spend a lot of money. I'm in July, August, September, kind of what I do, and but all good. So just really waiting on shipping times and things coming in damaged and things not coming in at all, and follow up with Amazon. So I bet I do a daily. Here are the deliveries coming. Here's where they go. Here's where they need to be. Check the box, and Sue and Brian, Jared, everybody's just done a great job kind of coordinating it from the other building and getting it where it needs to go. So just move along.
Any questions from Ms. Kimbrough?
Oh, I do have one more. So, sorry. So, an action item is to approve, approval for me to apply for the federal surplus property program. There's a lot of paperwork, a lot of initials I don't understand, a lot of help I had to have from Dinah to get this filled out. And then I was feeling good about it to send it in. And then it has to be an action item that allows me to do it. And basically, you're trusting me not to go, if I get anything from the surplus, to sell it for profit. So like it's just telling you all, I'm applying for it. If I get it, I'm not going to profit from it. That's basically, I called. That's basically the reason for it. This is to kind of hold me in check for that. So I'll just get Randy's signature at the end of the meeting today after the action item has been hopefully approved. Then I'll send that in. We may get absolutely nothing, or, you know, I'm kind of hoping for library shelves or whatever we can get. So just another resource for us, but a lot of hoops to jump through to get it. So.
Well, I'm happy to say that that is an actual action item.
Yay, I'm glad. Okay.
I'm really pleased to see that.
Thank you, Ms. Kimbrough. High school, Mr. Ogle.
Yes, I met with the ROE truancy officer, and we've got regularly scheduled meetings, and she informed me that they've hired more staff. Before, she was trying to cover Danville, 118, and all the other county schools. And so she had like 800 and some students on her list, truancy wise, for the county that she was trying to follow. She is now just doing the county schools. They have hired somebody for the Danville schools, which helps us a lot because now I can meet with her once a month, go through the truancy list. She's made calls already, gave us feedback on some of the students that we were having issues with. So we're hoping that our truancy numbers from last year will decrease with this effort. So I wanted to inform you of that. We had our health, life, safety inspection, and I'm happy to say they didn't close the school down. So I think we're doing okay. The report will come out later. Obviously, we have a few things that we need to work on. I'm sure Mr. Siddons is going to cover that later. We are looking for an English teacher. We had an English teacher that you just approved her resignation. She told me on Monday. She left on Friday. She did give me an extra week of lesson plans, but we're running out of those. Ms. Kimbrough and I are talking and looking for some solutions. Once we get together and work through that, we'll forward those to Mr. Maynard, and hopefully we get a better English plan together for what we've got right now. I am going to send out a letter to the students' parents who are in those English classes to let them know that right now we are short an English teacher, so that they know, and then also so the students realize that yes, their lessons are being graded, because right now they don't think, well, we don't have a teacher permanently, so obviously we're not grading anything. Well, yes, we're going to grade things. And so I wanted to let you know about that. Obviously, Mr. Johnson talked about the shortage of teachers, shortage of long-term subs, and that's all impacting us with trying to find an English teacher. Our teachers have been fantastic. I can't say anything more. I mean, they're just totally awesome with their giving up their preps, but that's not something we want to ask them to do for very long. Okay. So we need to get this solved right away, and I appreciate the staff and everything they've done to help us through this first few weeks of the issue with the English teacher. Picture retakes are on the 6th. See, I made a mistake on the report that I gave you. It said the 5th. It's the 6th. I also made a mistake on the homecoming theme is tropical. It's not. Last year's was dancing through the decades. This is tropical this year, so that was wrong. So I made mistakes too, and I'll fess up to that. The good news is that the dance will be at the high school this year instead of out at the fairgrounds. We're getting back to normal. I was talking with some parents at the swap day today, which was very nice. We had the swap day for the first time in 3 years. So that gave me a chance to sit down with some of the parents in the cafeteria when they were supposed to be in study hall and talk with them about some of the challenges we have. And I told them, I said, you realize last year at this time we were in masks. And it seems like a long time ago, but it was just last year at this time. So we're really happy about that. We have started breakfast in the morning as part of the high school. This is a first for us. It's been going fairly well. The food is getting, we started slow with just like whole grain bars and things to see how many students we were going to have. Now we're up to where we're doing breakfast pizzas, and it's pretty good. Some of our teachers have asked, well, if you pay for it, you can. So we're averaging about 20 students right now. We started out with just about 10, 12, and it's gradually building to where we've got about 20 students every morning. They come down about 8:10 during homeroom, and we keep them in there. We don't want them carrying food all over the school, so we keep them in there until 8:35 when the first hour bell rings, and that's how we've done that. The teacher's lounge is excellent. Thank you, Ms. Kimbrough, and I know Mr. Johnson did some work in there, and I appreciate that. It was awesome. Mr. Siddons had some electrical contractors and did a lot of work in there as well, and our teachers were surprised and we're very appreciative of that. And it looks fabulous when we go in. And it took care of some health, life, safety issues because we have more outlets in there now. So we don't have the extension cord issue that we had last year. So that took away one of those. Talking about supply line issues, last almost a year ago in July, not this past July, a year ago in July, I ordered a new mixer for our sound in the gym. It came in this summer, like in July. And so we have that in now. It's been installed. It has a lot of the same functions, but it's been modernized. We had to do kind of the same thing because we had to match it with the speakers. So it's basically the same unit, but just more modernized. So it's got Bluetooth capability. It's got USB ports, so it makes it a lot easier for us to play the national anthem when there's nobody singing it. And so that has helped a lot. And I believe that is all that I have. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Mr. Shelton.
You guys have my report. As presented, I'll kind of hit some highlights. I like talking about the team, so I'll try to keep it less than I have in the past. But so cross country, they run the SJO Classic here this coming weekend, and I will highlight Macy Russell, who won the county back-to-back years now. I will tell you that there is a trend with cross country right now in the county that numbers are very low across the county. Matter of fact, there was only one qualifying team who could win it, and that was Bismarck for girls and boys. Last year, that was the same thing. We won it. We were the only qualifying girls team there. So the numbers are dropping across the county. So that's discouraging, but we do have some quality kids running, and yeah, they're doing a great job. And as far as golf, they they're going to Harrison tomorrow for the BBC tournament. So that's hopefully we'll have some good outcome with that. Speaking of golf, we had Case Kilpatrick, our September athlete of the month. He's been a medalist 4 times this year, so shout out to him. So he's done great, and so some of the other golfers have really improved throughout the year. And football, if you were there on Friday night, our one home Friday night football game this year. It was a thriller. We won 32-27. Game was well played, and I thought the kids pulled off. They were super excited about it. And I know that I talked to some of the coaches, and they were fired about it too. And our record's now 2-2, and we're looking good going into Bismarck this weekend. So, and then also our JV boys got their first win at Dwight. Long trip to Dwight and back, but they got their first win on Monday night. So good job to the boys JV team. And then so I should speak. This Friday night at Bismarck will be the Patriot game. So they invited us to be a part of that. A lot of the proceeds are going to go to Operation Honor Guard. Some people in our community have bought shirts, and if you wear that shirt, you get it free. And they're doing a 50-50 ball drop here on Friday as well. So there's a lot going on here. And hopefully boys will come out victorious in that one. Next is soccer. And wow, what a great soccer team we have. I mean, really, truly needs to be recognized. We're one of the top teams in the area. We against some of the top rated teams, according to the News Gazette. We're right up there with them. We played them either to a tie or lost by 1 goal. You were at the STM game, they were still undefeated. And we took them all the way to the brim, lost 1-0 in a game I think we could have easily won. So and just put this out there, they're 9-0 in the BBC with 3 games remaining in the conference. And we'll stat for you, 62-0 is what they are in the BBC. So that's pretty remarkable. So anyhow, so really proud of the soccer team this year. And they'll host them tomorrow at home. So that's their next event. Volleyball, they got a big win over Danville High School at home, and that was, from according to Juice, we haven't played Danville High School in many years, so we got them on the schedule now this year, and they pulled a win at home. Played really great against St. Joe at home. Couldn't come up with that one, but I'll be honest, the girls have played up and down all season, but they've had some good games as well. Hopefully, we'll see that at Christmas tomorrow, and they travel to the OPH in Hudsonville tournament, which is new this year. They do that on Saturday. That'll be their next tournament. And as far as some projects go, we're working on trying to move the storage container that's at Muncie next to the softball field. We're trying to get that here. We have been in contact with Bryant Industries and Mr. Plotner, and unfortunately that won't work. Now we're trying to find other people that will help us move. So if you know of anybody, we would use their help moving that to OHS there next to the football locker room, so we can store a lot of our equipment in there. I know the football coaches would greatly appreciate that. So if you know anyone that can help us winch that up and move it here, we'll take suggestions. So that's one thing we're working on, as well as the weight room. We've done a lot of improvements in the weight room. I think some of the parents swapped, they were kind of impressed with some of the things that they saw today. And I keep telling them it's an unfinished product. We still have mirrors to put up, we have hooks to put up, and we're looking at turf to put in there on the north side. So there's still a couple more projects to go in there. We're not completely done with that. So and then also, I'm actively working with Mr. Maynard and the Booster Club, as well as the soccer team, on trying to secure some quotes on a scoreboard for the soccer field. If you go around the area, we're one of the few teams in the BBC in the area that we do not have a scoreboard. And people walk up to the game all the time and they say, "What's the score?" Unless you've been there the whole time, you don't know the score. And so it's something we're going to look into. I'm going to get with Mr. Siddons and we're going to talk to some quotes about what that's going to take to run electricity out there, and possibly some other, it'd be great to have a storage area out there too with, running water, possibly place to use the bathroom, and place to water our field too as well, which football field gets that, soccer field doesn't. So it'd be great to maybe look at something there too. So we're going to try to get some quotes on that and hopefully move forward with that, because I'll tell you what, soccer team deserves it. To be honest, they're a really solid team and they put a lot of time in. Future is very bright for that team. So, and we want them to also feel like they're getting something back. So also, should also mention that we had a community parent as well as an electrician donate his time. Matt Griffiths donated his time to go into the football locker room. And if you've ever walked in the locker room, it's very weird. You have to walk through the football locker room and turn the lights on in the middle of the locker room. And it's dark in there, and who knows when you can trip over. When you go in there, that's been like that for a very long time. I don't know how long, but people tell me a long time. So he had an opportunity to move all that. He moved some conduit out of the way, which was hanging, and it had exposed wires. That's been fixed. So that was a safety concern for us. And he's coming back here this week as well to donate not only his time and labor, but also material to help put in amperage and put in some more boxes to help, plug in more refrigerators, more microwaves for our boys who do have homeroom and eat breakfast out there in the morning. So anyhow, so big shout out to Matt Griffiths. That's awesome to have a community member like that that does that for our school. So and then also a couple more things to add with football. Today I finalized I'm getting this question a lot. This year we're playing 3 Saturday games and only 1 Friday night game at home. And so today I finalized the 27 schedule for varsity officials. So now starting next year, all the way through 2027, that is the 7th graders' senior year. It will be on Friday night. I'll start working on 28 now, which will be the 6th graders' senior year. So that's how far I'm working out right now. That was finalized today. So just so you know. And then also want to give a big shout out to Jeff Green. He's our custodian at the high school. Man, he does a lot of things behind the scenes. Mowing, weed eating, takes the trash out. Paints the field for our kids, cleans the locker room up. There's a lot of things that I'll say, hey, Jeff, can you do this for me? He immediately goes out there and does that. Sometimes sacrifices his time in the building. And I know that goes a long way. A lot of things kids don't see, parents don't see, you guys don't see, but it needs to be said. So big shout out to Jeff Green. So, all right. That's all I have. Thanks guys for listening. I tried to be a little less.
I've got one thing to add, and the soccer team and they're drawing such a crowd now that they've really stressed out our porta potties. So we may have to add another porta potty. That's a benefit of having a great soccer team.
Any questions from Ms. Sheldon? Thank you. Oakwood Junior High, Ms. Bergman.
Good evening. Start with, we had great participation in our locker load for students and family, and our open house with the community. It was nice to share the building out. I do want to thank John and Michelle and Mrs. Grimm and Mr. Jerry for continuing the updates and having our building set as we go through. I think that's important. We're still growing and getting things to put together. We started with Rosecrans as one of our resources to come in. They started with Too Good for Drugs. They're going to go through all of our classes this year. Last year we just did 7th grade. This year we're going to do 7th grade and 8th grade. And I'm really excited to have this resource in our building. And then next month we'll have Survivor Resource also to come in and do Aaron Spot. So we've got a lot of great people in Vermilion County to support our kids. We did our reunification drill with the grade school today. I think that went very well. Our kids followed expectations, and we just had a really nice morning together. Gave them a survey, so I'm curious on what their feedback is, because we want them to know they feel safe in the building and safe in what we provide for them. We're preparing for Spirit Week. Our student council has dress-up days and activities planned, so we're excited about that. Softball and baseball are over. Baseball went to their 2nd round, and girls basketball's first game is tomorrow. Cheerleading tryouts have happened, and boys basketball will start next month, along with speeches going on right now. So we're pretty busy academically and strictly. Thank you.
Any questions from Ms. Bergman? Thank you. Grade school, Ms. Pennis.
I will second what Mrs. Burton said about the evacuation drill. It went seamlessly. It was flawless. The kids were excellent. I know all of our kiddos all earned a Starbuck for showing expectations during the drill, and they're excited about that. I included our Student of the Month character traits. This year we're going to tie Student of the Month to different character traits to support our SEL curriculum. But I want to thank Carol Moore for that, because she has taken the lead with our SEL committee, and she put those lists together for each month. So thank you, Carol Moore. I'm sure that all of you probably have seen our back to school video on social media. And I just want to give a shout out to Dustin Danger for that, because he put that together for us. It was excellent. And other than that, I just shared some happy things with you, different staff shout outs from different staff members. And we even had a student do a shout out for another student. So just some things to make you smile.
Any question, Ms. Pennis? Thank you. Ms. Hampton cannot be here tonight. She is on another task. Technology. Mr. Richardson.
The only thing I really wanted to highlight was I'm very happy with the performance of the network at the new building now. We just finished our map testing, or we're almost finished with our map testing. And we ran both the junior high and the grade school at the same time. Minimal issues I had compared to the last couple years when they were up in Newtown. They're losing connections. I'd have whole classroom lose connection. They have to walk around the hallways and try to find a better connection. I've heard no issues like that at the new building. So just that right there just makes me happy that we make the move, because that cuts down my issues a lot. Other than that, just keeping everything running, and we're looking pretty good so far. Very happy with it.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Charlotte's not here tonight. Amos, Ms. Shins.
Just got a couple things. ROE has walked through the old Newtown building. So we did a lot of discussing about that building. I won't know anything until they give us our report back. Did the high school, like John said, it went really well. I think we're in pretty good shape with that building. Just a few minor things that we did. I guess we're not perfect. We all make mistakes. So there's a few things there. The grade school and the new junior high, we'll have it on the 28th coming up. Working with Amoresco, trying to get as much accomplished there as we can. Still going to be some things there that will probably get marked up on, but construction, it is what it is. With that being said, I meet with Rob tomorrow. I went through, spent a couple hours on a punch list for them. Sent that to him, and then him and I'll go through it tomorrow. He's going to come up, we're going to go through that and see where we're at. Discuss, where we're at when, we think we can get this stuff finished up. Because security, we need to really concentrate on getting both buildings up and together. I mean, we're secure, but not where I want to be. So we need to get that finalized with them. And finishing up with Michelle, trying to get the boards and everything up for the classrooms. Trying to get Ann happy here, keep her happy. But for the most part, the building's together. I think it's functional, but I just like to try to get it all finished up. So that's pretty much all I have.
The question, Mr. Thank you. Superintendent, Mr. Maynard.
Mr. Smith, I have a few things to mention tonight as a report. You heard about the reunification drill that took place today. That's not something that happens a lot. Usually about every couple of years, you want to make sure you do that. But of course, with our last couple of years, we haven't. And I have to say that in all my years, I've never seen a better, more well-organized, planned, and communicated reunification drill than what I saw today. And I just want to shout out to our building principals, administrative team, our teachers, our staff, everyone involved. It was an excellent drill. I was taking pictures. You saw me out there. I'm taking video because I'm like, yeah, this is how it's intended to be. And I was just so proud of our students, our student body today too. So it was quite a day. It's not a drill that you hope you ever have to use, but it can be used for things like a gas leak in the community. It can be a lot of things. So just important to mention that tonight. So thank you all very much. Also, along those lines, obviously we get our ALICE training with staff and with the Dominican County Sheriff's Department. We've got a date scheduled, I believe, October the 19th for our students. We'll review things with them as well. Videos and so forth. Sergeant Pasquale will be here and provide that for us. So we'll feel like that we're as prepared as we can be, and hopefully reduce any anxiety and things that would be out there for our students and our families. So we'll get that taken care of and is scheduled. 6-day enrollment, I mentioned earlier already. You got your treasurer's report a little bit later than normal, but you did receive that. So that is from last month. And so take some time to look through that so that you're aware how we're doing financially and moving forward. The bond schedule, Mr. Janeski had asked for that, I believe, at our last meeting. And so I wanted to get that out to you to kind of reaffirm the conversations that I've been having with you about borrowing capacity and the schedule and those types of things. So if you have a copy of that. If you did not receive it, please let me know. Or any other information you'd like with that. I mentioned already about the school maintenance project grant for FY23 and the high school gym floor. Health life safety updates, architect meeting I mentioned earlier. That was a very important meeting because I talked to Mr. Smith earlier. These last few years, just a lot of weird things happen. And so coming in, we had done a health life safety report with Rivesteck and Reed. It used to be Gorski, I think, down in Champaign. Strong reputation, worked with a lot of school districts. I've never heard from them, and they've never heard from me. And I was trying to find out who's our architect. It's like your auditor. You want to know who that is. And so with that in place, and then finding out that maybe somewhere along the line, our school district had maybe beyond the health life safety reached out maybe to another entity. I think there was a lot of confusion. So I just drove down to Champaign and went to meet with Rivesteck and Reed, and they were wonderful. And I said, hey, my name's Larry, superintendent. We've not worked together. We need to get caught up. So we spent some time talking, communicating. That was a really good meeting. And so they are all in. They want to be our, an architect is someone the board approves, so they're all in. And they just said that we weren't really sure prior to you, Larry. We were kind of left in a spot. We weren't sure if the district was happy with us or not, or if we were still the architect or not. We heard some different things. So we got all that cleared up, got everything back together. And I think we're back in a good place. And I let them know that I said, in the interim of all this, we had ESSER funds that came through, and that money had to be spent pretty quickly. And I went with the relationship that I had known about, an entity of Amoresco. And, that's an ESCO group is a little bit of a competitor with an architect. They were totally understandable. They said, hey, we get it. We understand. You went with them. They have a great reputation. So everything is good and healthy. So on behalf of the board, I wanted you to know that. It's an important meeting, and I'll keep those relationships going with our attorneys and our architects and our auditors and those things on behalf of the board. And they are going to be right there to help us with the state board health life safety procedures. So a good place there. I want to mention that along those lines, I found out that there is it's called a TIPS membership for purchasing. I had never heard of this before. So I started asking some questions, started reaching out to my network of superintendents, and found out that there is a group nationwide that you can become a member of at no charge. And it's a cooperative that basically helps keep the purchasing costs down because you're a part of this cooperative. And so I explored that, and a lot of vendors that we already work with are in that cooperative. And so I just want to let you know that since it was free, I signed up for it. Oakwood is a part of that cooperative, and that will help me in the event that we're making purchases. Maybe we're looking for a soccer scoreboard and we're getting quotes. I can look on this list of about 1,500 vendors and see what they have. And because they're in the cooperative, by school code statute, you do not have to go out and do an RFP. That process essentially through statute has already been taken care of because of the cooperative. Why that is important is because things are moving so much slower right now coming out of COVID in terms of the RFP process, the purchasing process, the delivery of goods process, all of that, that it has really slowed things down in terms of executing a plan. So it would help speed up that process a little bit too. So doesn't mean we would use them, but it's a resource that's there for us in the event that we have purchasing needs, which we will. So I want to let you know about that. That did not require anything specific. It's just a matter of me going online and putting Oakwood's name out there. So, but I did put it as an action item because I wanted to have evidence of that. So I thought that would be a good action item to have tonight, Mr. Smith. School board elections are coming up the 23rd. We've got 4 seats available. So I've got some information out to our board members so that you know when that is. I had to put that out to the public as well. Seats that are going to be open in the spring. Mr. Plotner's term expires. Mrs. Hicks, Mrs. Bradford, and Mr. Smith. So I believe you all have some information before you so that you have some timelines and so forth. And just making you aware of that opportunity that's out there in the event that you decide that you would be interested in continuing. So if you have any further questions about the school board elections or anything that'll be coming up, let me know. Now, the packets, I was able to get you a packet, but you can also get those yourself through Vermilion County. But I sent you a digital packet. Did not receive it, please let me know. And yeah, just if you have any questions or want to have any conversation with me, I'd welcome that at any point in time. I do know that it is open now. It opens September 20th, and I believe closes December 17th. I may be wrong, but you'll have that funny as far as petitions and application process. Very important leadership positions, very much valued. We are in the process of searching for our high school principal and guidance counselor vacancies for the 23-24 school year. So I have the committee set forth that will pull this together. We'll start the interviews in October. We have some applicants, so we'll get moving on that. And then what I'd like to do is once we get to the point of our final applicant of choice, unless there happens to be two that we're really not are really tight with, in terms of being at the top of our list as a fit for Oakwood, the school board will have an opportunity to sit with that person as well before we take action and make a decision. So you get a chance to get face to face with that leadership position for the final approach. So I always think it's good for school board members to have an opportunity to meet that person and be able to ask some questions as an interview process prior to the final decision making. So, and that's the same process we went through a couple of years ago. And then after the principal's position, that's when we'll move forward with the guidance counselor position. I wanted to give an opportunity for whoever gets hired as principal, in case they have a network of guidance counselors out there that they may want to partner with, that they would have an opportunity to have some input on that decision. Transition team meeting we had on the 15th. That's just us checking in with our grade school and our high school. And I know that our grade school and junior high staff, and I was able to look through the notes from that meeting, and we'll continue to have, I think we have 6 meetings scheduled this year. And the importance of that ties in with what Michelle mentioned in terms of our grant, working with Ondine Green. We put the transition as a major focal point for our school district and making sure that we're listening and learning and providing the resources that are needed for our staff as we have a successful transition. And I'm just very excited about what our staffs have been doing together in this process moving forward. Long-term sub update. Just want to let you know that, as Mr. Johnson mentioned earlier, he and I spoke this week, talked about 2 or 3 things. One of the things that we're investigating right now is there some type of adjustment that needs to be made with a long-term sub position? For example, providing benefits, things of that nature. Things are very different now than they were 4 or 5 years ago. We're finding ourselves in competitive situations. I believe, from what I hear, that the benefits piece has become more of an interest to those that are coming in, and we've been fortunate. We've got some excellent long-term subs, and so we want to care for that process. So we don't have anything before you tonight. I just want to make sure that you knew that thanks to Mr. Johnson, he and I are working together, and we're talking through this to see, exploring the idea, and then down the road, if we have more information, we'll bring it to you. So a lot of things, a lot going on, but that is all I have this evening. Thank you.
Any questions? Thanks, sir. Agenda item 8, old business. I don't believe we have any old business for discussion. Agenda item 9, closed session. We do need to enter closed session to discuss the employment of a specific employee. We have a motion to enter closed session at 6:27 p.m.
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Bradford, seconded by Hicks to enter a closed session at 6:27 p.m. Hicks? Yes. Lynn?
Yes.
Ludwig? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Bradford? Yes. Motion carried by roll call vote 2.
Okay, I will stop the volume until return. recording.
Have a motion to return to open session at 6:40 PM.
Someone,
Second. For discussion, roll call please.
motion by Bradford, seconded by Lynn to re-enter open session at 6:40 PM. Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 3.
Agenda item 10, consideration and action. In all our hiring is contingent upon successful completion of background checks. Oakwood High School recommendation was for Carrie Baker as a long-term substitute teacher for special education in the high school at the pay rate of $197.30 per day.
She's been working ever since the school year starts, been doing a great job. She's doing math and guided study, and she's been there every day. I'm really happy with her performance, so I highly recommend that we hire her.
A motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call please.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Bradford to approve Carrie Baker employment as presented. Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Lynn.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 4.
10B, Oakwood Grade School recommendation is for Dusty Gokin as a long-term substitute teacher for K-2 special education in the grade school with a pay rate of $197.30 per day.
Dusty has also been with us since the start of the year, and she has been phenomenal in a very unique situation. So I ask that you approve that tonight.
Motion to approve the employment of Dusty Gokin.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Hicks to approve the employment of Dusty Gokin as presented. Smith,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 5.
Item C, we have district action item. The recommendation is to appoint Amy Makowitz as the district foods coordinator and secretary for the 23 to 24 year. This is a 12-month position at the hourly rate of $19.47 with benefits. Her start date will be July 1st, 2023.
Okay, so I think we all know Amy. She is one of the greatest employees that we have, and she's one of the greatest people that we have. And I think she's been in the district about 19 years. She's done a lot of different things. She's even worked in the kitchen, I think, when she first came. So we had a great interview process with her. She's excited about this opportunity, and we're certainly excited to bring her on to fill that position starting July 1st.
Recommendation to appoint Amy Makowitz.
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call please.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Ludwig to approve the employment of Amy Makowitz as presented. Bradford,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 6.
10D, we have a high school recommendation to employ Maddie Wakeland for the position of Oakwood High School Drama Advisor for the 22-23 school year. She'll begin on step 1 on the extracurricular schedule.
Yes, Maddie is the project success coordinator. She's in our building every day. She's done great stuff great things with our students, and she does have a drama background. She's performed in a number of different productions. I think she's going to be a great addition. We're kind of resurrecting that program due to the pandemic. We weren't able to really have any drama, and so this is a chance to restart that program. I think she'll do an excellent job.
I have a motion to approve the employment of Maddie Wakeland.
So moved.
Second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Lynn to approve the employment of Maddie Wakeland as presented. Hicks,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 7.
10E, I have a high school recommendation to employ Molly Ham for the position of sophomore class advisor for the 22-23 school year. She'll begin on step 1 on the extracurricular schedule.
Molly has already started with that because she had to because of homecoming and everything. So she's been doing the job already. She's been in the district for 2 years now. She's our FCCLA advisor as well. She does a fantastic job, and I am happy to recommend her for this position.
Do I have a motion to approve the employment of Molly Ham?
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion?
Do The class sponsors, they change every year. They don't follow the classes as they go through.
They do not follow the classes they go through. They stay but anyways, they stay with the same year group every year. And we don't follow through. Juice is our junior class sponsor, and the kids look forward to having her. And they're all in the same assemblies together, and so our class sponsors are kind of leading the cheers, so they kind of know who they're graduating to. And so that's how it's been done. It seems to be working well.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Bradford to approve the employment of Molly Ham as presented. Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried. Roll call vote 8.
Item 10F, we have a high school recommendation to approve the FFA overnight trip to the National Convention on October 26th through 28th, 2022, as presented.
So just a note there, I know Mr. Olo's going to talk about this a little bit tonight. We had prepared potentially for our FFA advisor, Avery Sandiford, to be here with some officers that she's going to take on the trip. So I wanted to build that in there. We thought it might be a presentation there. Wasn't able to get that secured tonight. So I know Mr. Olo's going to talk about it, but anytime we have an overnight situation, it's good to have board approval on that. Pretty sure that's in our board policy. Yeah, and so we have that situation here, and I'm excited. I mean, as an FFA alum, looking here and seeing that we're heading to the national convention with our advisor and some of our officers, this is a great leadership opportunity. So it's fun to have this back on the agenda after a few years.
And tonight she's not able to be here because she's at a Green Hand FFA event on leadership at U of I. So she's got her class officers with her tonight, and they just left. And so yeah, it's board policy. It's something I don't know that in the past that we've done this, but we just want to make sure that everybody's covered. She put together a nice packet. I forwarded to Mr. Maynard, listing all the itinerary and everything. She has done this at another school before, so she's experienced with the national convention, and it's good that, and she's also been in the same section that we're in her past school, so we're excited to have the kids be able to go this year because last year they did not.
Where's the national convention at this year?
Indianapolis.
Okay.
I think they've pretty well settled on Indianapolis for the national convention. Now they do have state conventions as well, and I don't know that we have participated in those in the past, at least not since I've been up in the front office. So but that may be something else that we want to do.
Yeah. It used to be at the U of I.
U of I, yes.
It used to long ago. Now it's in Springfield.
Springfield, I think, yes. And Miss Sandiford's doing a fabulous job. I go down there and check on her, and she's doing great. So yeah, I am fully confident that she's going to do a great job with these officers when we go over there and get some good information at the national convention.
It'd be nice if after the national convention to have them come and present to the board and share some of their leadership experiences, and the value of the national convention.
Absolutely.
For the record, I'm not asking this question for any other reason than my personal knowledge. How is this paid for? Is this come out of her funds, or is this?
They raise the money through fundraisers and things, and she's got some fundraisers scheduled to come up. There were some fundraisers and some money left from last year as well. And sometimes the students' parents may sponsor them as well. So there's a number of different venues, but it comes out of their student activity fund for FFA.
So not the money's not concerned, just how does this get paid for? I didn't know.
It's an excellent platform for these young people, and not only for what they learn is their employment. The company I work for sponsored it in Indianapolis for several years, and they make an attempt to reach out and seek these kids because they need them in the work world.
4 or 5 years down the road as well, so. It's a big thing.
Absolutely. And Carlinville High School, where I was at before, I've had a number of students that I've had in the past that have went through the ACES program at the U of I, the agricultural engineering, and they're doing very well in the industry right now. So, you know, if we can get that opportunity opened up for our students, I think it's a great thing.
Who's national president? We have from Oakwood, the vice president. Chief
That, Amy Newberg,
Yeah.
sorry, state president, yeah, she was the state president.
And she was an officer in the national, I'm pretty sure.
So, yeah, but I mean, she started it.
As soon as you go in the high school, her picture's on the left-hand
Yes,
side.
it is,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
What offices she held.
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest organizations.
Absolutely.
Teaches kids so much. And I saw so many kids that just grasped to that and just took off with it. And it's phenomenal.
The motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Got a little, board members, any further discussion?
You started.
I don't know. I started it. Roll call.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Ludwig to approve the FFA overnight trip as presented. Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Lynn.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 9.
Agenda item 10G, another Oakwood High School recommendation to approve the wrestling overnight trips for the 22-23 school year. As presented, they're going to be December 28th, Abe's Rumble, January 27th, Litchfield Invitational, February 10th, the IHSA sectionals, and finally February 16th, the IHSA state finals.
So, yes, to go along with the last kind of the board policy, we want to make sure we get that board approved as well for those 4 overnight trips. And we do expect to be back at state with more wrestlers again. We had 2 years ago, we had 4 last year. And Coach Glosser's said we're sending more back this year too. So, yeah, anyway, yeah, so that's, hopefully we get that approved so our kids can get in some quality tournaments and some quality invites.
A motion to approve the recommendation for the wrestling overnight trips.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Lynn to approve the wrestling overnight trips as presented. Smith.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 10.
Agenda item 10H, we have another district recommendation to approve the resolutions for the federal surplus property program as presented.
I kind of talked about it in my report already. It just basically gave me permission to submit it.
A motion to approve the recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Bradford to approve the federal surplus property resolution as presented. Bradford.
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 11.
Agenda item 10I, we have another district recommendation to approve the TIPS membership cooperative for purchasing program as presented.
That's what I mentioned earlier in my report, gives us an opportunity to get the lowest rates possible for purchasing. So I would recommend that you would approve this. There is no cost to the district.
A motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Ludwig to approve the TIPS membership as presented. Hicks,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 12.
Item 10J, your grade school recommendation to employ Scott Heatherton as a long-term substitute teacher for kindergarten in the grade school at a pay rate of $197.30 per day. The start date is expected to be in November and the anticipated end date will be in February of 23.
Mr. H is basically a full-time employee as it is. He subs for us every day that he's available. And anybody who is willing to jump into a kindergarten classroom for a long-term sub position is a pain. So please.
Does he know what he's getting into?
He does. He loves little people.
That's great. Wow.
He's great with them.
He subs for us as well. He's great, so I can just throw that in. So I'm kind of
Little-
disappointed.
a little jealous.
Yeah, just a little jealous.
Do I have a recommendation to to approve the employment of Scott Heatherton?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Bradford to approve the employment of Scott Heatherton as presented. Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 13.
Agenda item 10K, junior high school recommendation to approve Mark Harris to fill the Oakwood Junior High School head teacher vacancy at Oakwood Junior High School beginning the 22-23 school year. He will be on step 1 of the extracurricular schedule.
Mr. Harris is our 8th grade math teacher. He comes from Indiana with some admin background, and he's a great asset in this role.
So motion to approve Mark Harris to fill the head teacher vacancy. So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Ludwig to approve the employment of Mark Harris as presented. Ludwig,
Yes.
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Lynn.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 14.
Agenda item 11, I don't believe we have any new business to discuss. I will say that our next regular board meeting will be Wednesday, October 19th at 5:30 p.m. We will have a public hearing on the levy scheduled for Wednesday, November 16th at 5:15 p.m. I believe we'll probably have a special meeting being posted here in the next day or so, and the date to be announced. A motion to adjourn at 6:57 p.m. So moved.
Okay.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Hicks to adjourn at 6:57 p.m. Smith,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 15.
We're watching.